Rangers fans were excited to discover that Lionsgate would be bringing the team back to the big screen in 2016, but the multicolored teenage heroes won't be showing up until 2017 now. According to reports, the film has been pushed back to January 13, 2017. The project still doesn't have a director attached, but reports still claim that Project Almanac director Dean Israelite is in talks. Amy Rose, does this push back to 2017 raise any red flags for you about the Power Rangers?
Not necessarily, but I hope the reason is because of the successful short film, and I hope it's because they want to retool it and make it like that, because that's what I want. I don't want the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I want these badass, gritty, dark Rangers. And like, granted, I still grew up with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so I'm not bashing them. That's my youth, and I loved it, but that's not where we're at right now. And I hope they saw the success of that and maybe even kind of casted it accordingly. I mean, I think that would be really cool, but I don't think it's red flags. We live in an age of superheroes. This is a property they really want to knock out of the park. And, you know, Project Almanac, I was just kind of like, I'll see it. But it definitely had Project X meets Chronicle. And there's Butterfly Effect. There's a couple films that it felt like. But I actually thought it was pretty enjoyable. And I think, you know, to take that found footage, which can be really dry and boring and stale, or you can make it kind of compelling. And I thought it was great. So I actually think he's a pretty good fit for this. I just hope the reason is because they want to make it badass like that short film, because that took us all by surprise.
Yeah, I have red flags going off all over the place on this. And it's not because of the push from 2016 to 2017. Although when you do a push like that, so close to when you just announced when it was going to be, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, and then like that quick, here's where my flags go off. It is no secret, I have always thought that doing another live action Power Rangers movie was a bad idea. And then they announced it, and I thought it was a bad idea. And then some people on our team and a lot of you guys online started writing in some proposals about, hey, what if they did this with them? And what if they did this? And took this different type of angle. And slowly but surely I started going, okay, yeah, you change the context here a bit and you make that type of a movie with Power Rangers. I don't know that it will work, but that could work. Mm-hmm. I thought that short film was atrocious.
What?
I thought it was awful.
It was awesome.
I thought it was awful. I know
it's like Mortal Kombat.
I was so glad. I love Mortal Kombat.
Get over here.
So glad. I was so glad when after watching about 30 seconds of that trash, I was so glad to find out, okay, that's not actually the movie. All right, isn't it? But here's where my red flags go off. My red flags on this story goes off not because of the shift from 2016 to 2017, but because this studio has now gone, let's make this a summer release movie, July 2016. Let's put this in January. That for me is...
Yeah. I see that.
The flag, like going off like crazy. Doesn't mean it won't be awesome. This could be the greatest thing since Star Wars. It might be. The movie might be awesome. But if we're just going to ask, does it raise flags? I'm going to be honest. For me, it raises a big flag. Anyway, Mark, what about you?
The January 13th thing raises a huge flag to me. And besides that, I was really excited because like Amy Rose said, I thought that this was all because of the short film that came out and they're actually listening to the fans. I don't like when a studio takes every comment too seriously, but when the fans all unite and they storm the gates, like what happened after that short film, they had to take note and be like, okay, let's push back. That we definitely need to retool this a little bit. So that's good news. And I like Project Almanac. That was one of the films that surprised me, which, by the way, also came out in January. So I think that if this guy can take this property, make it more like it was in the short film, then I think that that's a positive. Personally, I could care less about a Power Rangers movie. I just didn't, even when I was a kid, I didn't care about the Power Rangers. I was always a Ninja Turtle guy. I thought it was I just didn't care about
Do you start all your dates with that line?
I open most dates with, do you want to get the free breadsticks at the Olive Garden?
Can't they coexist, the properties? Come on.
Dude, I'm more of a Ninja Turtles
but
guy.
It just doesn't matter to me. I open up every first date with Mortal Kombat!
And if she does, then you know you found the one.
And you got to keep her.
You know I've already sung that today, right?
I've done at least twice. Here's the other thing, too. One of the other things that I think people who are looking forward to this movie have to be hopeful is the fact that Dean Israelite, while he is not a household name, he took a movie that by all rights should have been a bad film.
Totally.
That should have been a bad film. And he made a rather entertaining movie out of it, which is no easy feat. So if you're somebody who's like hoping Power Rangers could be good, if they finally get the ink signed on this thing, Dean Israelite's attachment is something you should be hopeful for and should give you some hope.